Okay, so here's what we're looking at here. We're looking at Rupal. This is Toronto versus Soggy Boys. Ana Brig is really cool. I have both Vega and Rupal POVs recorded here. And basically what is really interesting about this matchup is it's a perfect balance between the DPS Ana, big nade, big damage, whatever, and the, oh frick, I'm playing into Tracer, Winston, and soon to be probably Sojourn or something along those lines as well as the anti-nades from the enemy backline. So there's a lot of things that you can hurt, but there's also a lot of things that can hurt you. So it's a great thing where like a lot of you guys playing on it and to dive might be like strictly playing for your own life, never looking to put out offensive pressure. And I know that Rupal has a Brigitte to help him, but you'll notice how much offensive pressure that Rupal finds while still being able to play his life. What we're going to look at here is we're going to look at cooldown usage, we're going to look at positioning, we're going to look at damage, healing, cover usage, synergy with the Brigitte, and find what makes this backline maybe the most unkillable backline in NA, maybe the most unkillable backline in the West, period. One of the things that I want to talk about really quick is tempo. I think that's going to be the theme of today's review is tempo. Is you think tempo is speed, but tempo is not speed. Tempo is timing. It's about finding the timing of when things are done. This is tempo. There's this, and then they're both tempo. It's just different tempos. So tempo is nothing to do really with speed. More tempo does not mean more speed. More tempo is just, tempo is tempo. There is nothing else. And so what that means for a composition like this is that the question is when is Ana Brigitte under threat and when are they not under threat? The reason why that's important is the timing of the enemy Winston's bubble, or Tracer's recall, or Echo stickies, or even the enemy Ana's nade changes how you position. It changes how you use your CDs, specifically your sleep dart, but also your anti-nade. And it also changes who you're shooting, or target priority. When you position when the enemy Winston has bubble, you're cautious of that Winston landing on top of you and killing you, whether that's with nano, primal, or just a normal jump. Same thing with recall. When I have my nade, I might look to use my nade aggressively unless that enemy Winston has, like, let's say, a nano or a primal, or might be jumping and landing directly on top of me, and I need to nade myself so that my enemy Brigitte or my friendly Brigitte can pocket me for more. When I'm talking about who I'm shooting, if I have a situation when my Winston has bubble, I might be more proactive with putting pressure on the enemy backline, knowing that there's going to be a direct follow-up off of any chip damage that I can do onto any of these targets. Whereas if I'm concerned more about the enemy jump, I might be more focused on putting more pressure on the enemy Tracer and the enemy Winston, the dive threats, so that they're a little bit weaker when they do engage on me. So it's really important, especially with those first two, that you understand the read of the battlefield as an Ana. Am I safe? Do I need to disengage? Do I need to push? Do I need to pull? And so on. Right now, Rupal is positioned aggressively because Rupal has a large distance between himself and the enemy front line. He's not worried about this Winston jump because he knows the Tracer's on point, so that I could put out offensive pressure without a Winston jump alone being enough to kill me. Defensive nade, he knows that Winston has bubble, doesn't quite save Vega. Where's my next position? Where can I get offensive pressure? Where can I get cooldown pressure? Where can I get damage? Where can I avoid being damaged? So, what do you guys read out of the tempo here? Do you think that our Winston or our Ana should be aggressive with their nades? Do you think our Ana should be aggressive with their damage? What do you think? This is a tough one. Does the enemy Winston have bubble? Yes. Does the enemy Ana have nano? Yes. Do we have a good angle for nade on the backline? Yes. Oof. See, this one's tricky because we could definitely get an anti-nade on backline here. But they know that the enemy Winston probably has primal, probably has nano, and even though the enemy Tracer can't stage on me, that's pretty scary. So it's up to you. I think this one will be interesting. Let's see what Rupal goes for. Priority here is probably to get the nano on their tank first. But honestly, let's see what happens. Now, if this was a ranked player, you would have the ranked player, including Rupal, by the way, sitting on this high ground here, poking backline. Why? Because he's not scared of the enemy Nano Winston. Because this is ranked. They're not going to coordinate that as much. So this is even more defensive than an average ranked player because there's respect to the Nano Primal at this level of play. Even the enemy anti-nade there is scary. Here comes the nade. It's risky because now they're open to that Nano. He also doesn't hit it. It actually gets blocked by Rack Attack Shield. I think he might have been aiming for the Winston there as well, but yeah. We'll look at Vega POV afterwards. So for right now, we're only going to focus on Rupal. Saving the sleep dart. Great peel there. Huge sleep dart. Now the Primal's still coming. Nade. Armor pack. Naded armor pack. Look at that rotation. Doesn't rush sleep dart. Doesn't rush sleep dart. In fact, it's really good with his bubbles. Huge nade. Now that's a risk because you might want nade right now. But it's a calculated risk. Because when you see an opportunity on a squishy that's that out of position, like Cal was, you have to take it. When do you want to nano first? It really depends, right? It really depends. It's up to you. They might have been saving defensive nano there because someone already had primal and they didn't think that they needed to nano their Winston. They might have been saving nano there because he wasn't sure if Vega would get rally in time, nano the brig defensively. This is some high-level stuff. And look at that sleep. Now we don't need nade as much. Okay, well, maybe we do. But we didn't need nade as much, certainly to clean up the fight, because we were able to get the sleep dart and the Winston there. Similar situation here, but now there's probably not as much direct threat. Okay, tempo. There's no bubble. So there's a little bit less concern about how to position or what to do. You can see he's kind of looking for the aggressive nano and nade. And now he notices that he's look at this. He's just not really scared of Winston now. Winston doesn't have bubble yet. What is he doing? What is he doing? He's got a nano to push with. He's not scared of Winston bubble. In fact, it had to jump back. You see that? You see, that's tempo right there. You think, like, what the heck was he doing? No nano on the enemy team. No primal on the enemy team just yet. Winston didn't have bubble. He pushes in with the nano. You see that? You would never see Rupal do something like that without that circumstance. And so that's why you always have to look at pro play within context. You can't just follow what they do blindly. Now nano and primal are problems. And now we don't have rally, and we don't have nano, defensive nano. So how are these guys going to play around this? It's all about tempo. Does that Winston have bubble? Where is the Winston? How far away is the Winston? Oh, he's going to go greedy with it. He's going to go greedy with it. Now, what's the reasoning behind going aggressively with nade here? Aren't we just going to die to nano primal? Right. It's a gamble. It's a gamble. Right. Exactly. So there's a there is a very high risk that Rupal dies for this. There is a risk. But there's also a very high risk that because of his Winston's primal and because of the aggressive out of character rotation here from Rupal, that they're just going to kill people immediately, right now. Bam, dead. So yes, Rupal might die, but they will die too. And that's going to mean an even trade that they'll be able to come back and take the next fight. So it's basically saying, I don't have anything for you. So I'm going to just roll the dice and see what happens. Maybe get a trade. Exactly. And if this nade lands... Oh, it doesn't land. Why doesn't it land? Does he try to go for all three? I think he tries to nade his spot instead of a person. That's a classic... Oh, it's blocked by Rack Attack. You see that? Rack turns his shield. He would have got naded. He turns his shield. Great play from Rack, and now this is trouble. Vega does hit the whip, though. So huge bail by Vega there. But still, he doesn't even get a chance to pull the sleep dart. He does instantly. A lot of people use the word tempo about we need to go faster or we need to play slower, and I've never really liked that terminology. I'm more of a fan of playing to cycles, turns, like when are we strong, when do we want to play it, and playing to your range. He's looking for the angle there. So he greeted there. He split from his brig because he goes, oh, I'm still safe. I'm far away, and they're worried about point. No primal, no nano yet. They do have a nano of their own. That's why we see this aggressive rotation. The nade is blocked again. Rupal is really struggling to get nade value here. They've been blocked consistently. Really well played by Sog here. He actually just missed that one. I think he just missed that one. Rotates back because the enemy team has walked forward. Gets hindered. Love that ability. Looking for nano. Looking for nano. Gets the nano. And notice that he's actually not looking for an aggressive nade this time. Why? Why is he not looking for an aggressive nade this time? What has changed between this position or this situation now and something literally 10 seconds ago? They still don't have nano. They still don't have primal. I mean, maybe they think that they do, but probably not. Well, he's definitely going to need it. Why? What's changed about his position? So one of the things is he's lost his powerful sightline on the backline. Like, he doesn't have a really fat, juicy nade that he had earlier. The difference here is that his position has honestly gotten worse. They messed up the nade there. He had to back up because he was getting low. And now his position is worse. And by worse, because the enemy tracer has a really easy flank to get to him. Right? That's the difference between this position and the last position, is it's just a worse sightline and it's easier for tracer to get to him. He's in a corner. So now he actually does have to, because he messed up his offensive cooldown earlier, now he has to use this next one defensive. Right, exactly. It's a much easier flank here. Great shot in the tracer, early recall. He's really trying to save that cooldown for if he needs it. Because at this level of play, if you miss a nade or you miss a sleep, you're done. And so sometimes it's just easier to just save for the Winston and not try to gamble too much. It depends. But you see that, like, even though they didn't die, the bad cooldown trade put the backline in a worse position. And is what... Oh. Now he has to nade himself. And this might be it. Because this is the thing, chat. You're noticing that, like, oh, they're not dying, so it's okay, right? No, it's not. Because this on a brig, because they've made some mistakes, at least Rupal, is now they're no longer in a position to help their front line. And if you do not sleep or nade or boop or whatever or shoot the enemy backline or the enemy front line, then your front line is totally isolated. And yeah, that's it. Like, you living as a support is not good enough. Yeah, he missed a lot of his utility, and so now his backline is suffering from it. His front line is suffering from it. This is the second time that Merit has died. Someone has not had a single anti-nade on backline to help him out. No damage to follow up. All right. They've got nano. They've got primal to worry about, but they do have nano and rally to respond. There's the Winston. Look at the distance management there. Not too close. There's Bubble. He's screaming, guys, we're zoned out. We're zoned out. We're zoned out. I can't heal you. Can't heal you. There's the nano in response. Uh-oh. 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 Scissors the goat. Saving the sleep dart until he gets a read about what Infected's going to do. In fact, he doesn't even need the sleep dart if he can just shoot. Oh! So really, frankly, I consider Rupal to be one of the best supports in the world. But not a good game. Not a good game from Rupal so far. Right? Positioning management has been very reasonable. Nades have missed. Sleeps have missed. Right? Not the best. And you could see, now you look at that and you go, wow, this makes a lot more sense. Because this team is honestly a lot better than this team. But this is a pretty darn good push on Paraiso. Now, I'm not saying that all this is Rupal's fault at all. But you could see part of the reason why Toronto is struggling on the defense here. So I think that you can learn a lot. I think you can learn more from somebody of Rupal's caliber when they make mistakes. I think if Rupal did nothing but the right thing, I think that you don't see like, oh, like what happens if they don't play well, right? And you can see it. All right, let's see how we take space here. Now, Winston bubble and dive is always a threat when you're on attack here. You don't have good space, so you're always scared. Where's that tracer? He's using the sleep dart here because if he catches the Winston, they can maybe force the Winston bubble and disengage. And also, as long as he stays far back, he's not at a threat of being dove. Now you're like, well, why isn't he be a threat of being dove? Because what can Rupal see here? Winston, tracer, but where's the Ana? Where's the Brig? Where's the Cassidy? There's not really, like Sog really doesn't want to dive out here. It's too far away from where their backline is positioned. So because of that, he can be a little bit more greedy with his cooldowns and do so safely. So you can use your cooldowns more aggressively if the enemy team is in position to follow up. But now, you see, he's scared now. He's like, okay, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? Now, again, you see it. Even the Brig on a split here. Why are they split? Well, because backline of the enemy team has backed off. There's no threat to the Ana. So the Brig could get value out of proccing her Inspire, pocketing the Echo, pocketing the Tracer, even heck, throwing an armor pack on someone, right? But Brig has a better sightline here than Ana. So Brig and Ana don't always have to play together. Brig and Ana usually need to play together when there's a threat of a real dive. Do you see what I see, chat? Do you see what I see? I'm gonna predict pretty soon there. Ooh, you guys see it? So this is the best part. He could either nade backline here, which might get blocked by Brig, or he could just do this. Notice, by the way, Brig playing closer to Ana because the threat of the Winston. You see it? Bam! And now Infected might just die. Getting slept as Winston in this composition is just death. Like whether it's Cassidy, Fan the Hammer, or whether it's Stickies, like getting slept is just death. Scissors. There's a sleep. I don't know if there'll be any follow-up there. Maybe. Oh, they get it. They got the pulse. Huge. They have rally. Soon. Well, actually, no, they don't have rally, but they do know that the Tracer, the Cassidy is dead. So they know the enemy backline is going back. So the tempo here is that they're missing one. Let's walk forward and make space. Let's walk forward and take space. They got to be careful of Nano and Primal, though, here. Again, why are they being so aggressive? Because there's no follow-up. Cassidy's not there. Tracer's not there. Worst case scenario, Winston gets Nano. We Nano or Rally or Peel or Nade myself and so on. Like, he doesn't want to blow his cooldowns here, but he could be a little bit more egocentric because of the situation. Then as the Cassidy Tracer walks forward, okay, this is not working. I got to back off. We might be looking for Nano here. Let's see. There's the Primal. Enemy team is on the back foot. Is there any follow-up I can get off of the Primal? No. They actually Nano Winston, but Infected was not in a good position there. And so the entire engage is kind of wasted. Infected's going to get Primal for us soon. Ooh, can we keep up? Sugar Free, we can. And now we've seen Nano, and that's it. So Primal here, we could play a little bit more aggressively into this because we only really have to worry about Primal. We don't have to worry about the Nano too. Now we'll set up our own Nano and rally their Primal.
My ultimate is ready. Get in there. My ultimate is fully charged. Get in there. You're powered up.
Nano? He might look for a nade if he sees an opportunity. Might save it just because of the Primal. There's the rally on the bubble. Not a great rally there from Vega. Not a great rally there from Vega. I think, I'm not sure if Vega messed something up. I think he got a little bit goofy with his positioning there, and so he feels the need to rally, but then now that creates an opportunity for Infected to be able to use this Primal basically for free. The nade gets blocked there by Vega. That was good. The nade also gets blocked there. And now, oh, Vega. And this ends up being, do you guys feel, do you see, again, if you don't land the nades, if you don't land the sleeps, if your other support duo messes up, you're cooked. You guys see what's happening, though? Like, the less activity that Toronto is taking, the harder and harder it is for backline. You make a mistake, you're screwed. Okay. Still Nano and Primal to worry about. Sugar Free? Sugar Free! What the frick is Sugar Free doing? Sugar Free's on the backline. Alright, what does Rupal got for me? He gets naded, backs up. Sugar Free just hard flanks. And that, oh my gosh. What a shot. Disaster. Disaster for the SOG backline. Great nade. And this is what happens, right? Sugar Free sets up a good angle. They never get the nano value that they wanted. They never got the primal value that they wanted. And honestly, Rupal shows up when he needs it. But honestly, good Sugar Free, man. Like, it's just disgusting. He forced the nano, he forced the high noon, and he still got the kills in backline. That's just absurd. Now, you guys might look at this and be like, why are they rallying? If he sees an opportunity to go now and just get one more kill, they don't touch. It's worth it to commit an ultimate so they don't touch. Prediction sleep doesn't work. He's not worried about the Winston. Good shot there. Infected goes Malga to touch. Gets back a little bit faster than Winston, and plus it's cardiac, but it's not enough. Rally is just like what I like to call a stagger ultimate. Not, any ultimate can be a stagger ultimate, but like using it even though it's not a clear team fight, just to get one more pick, just to make sure that you cap the point. High ground, poke, 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 poke. Nice sightline there. You way outrange Cassie from there. He has to get his nade force defensively, but it's too far of a dive there from Infected. Now, you might ask yourself, chat, why, if you're coaching, I know this is an Ana VOD, but why does someone peel here? Peeling with Winston's bad, right? Why does someone peel? Because Ana's low? No, not really. It doesn't matter, because your job, where is the enemy backline? It's too far. Like, you could bubble heals, exactly. Basically, with Winston, you usually trade backlines, even if the enemy tank is overextending. But if the enemy backline is too far away, or not really a good position to jump, right? This might get booped or slept or whatever, then there's no point jumping the backline if you're just going to get whip shot. If the angle's not good for the jump, it might be better to defensively bubble, and so on. So you'll see that occasionally. Generally, something that's more unique to playing into Ana Brig compositions, but it is worth pointing. You cannot guarantee a zone and backline all the time.
Get in there.
Walking forward, walking forward, walking forward. Now, I would like this role to reversal. I would like the Ana to walk forward and the Brigitte to be on cart, or I would have liked for Rupal to lean right side sooner before that nano and just take the high ground here. But yeah, at least one of the targets is walking forward.
Happy to assist.
Rupal probably needs to get off of cart, but maybe it doesn't matter here. It may not matter here. They may not even get a clean touch here. That's going to be an early recall. Break bubble and they nade. They may not even need the nade. Prediction sleep, it hits. Puts Cassidy or Brig out of the fight, and that's it. Good stuff from Rupal. I hope that you guys learn a little bit of like the push-pull stuff there. And I think a lot of the stuff is more unique to dive, where there is a little bit more of a priority on direct threat to the Ana, and so you need to be a little bit more cautious with how you position and how you play. But Rupal is a great player. Let's take a look at some Vega. So Brick, it's the same thing with tempo. When Winston has jump, you need to be ready for that. When Winston